Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products, developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. COTA Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about COTA Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. COTA also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit COTACorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. All right, my friend, it's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith is with me every other week, and together we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. Wow, we have got a lot of stuff to cover, buddy.
You know, it's the news that never quits, and that's one of the great things about covering America's sports cars. There's always something interesting to talk about. This might be an expanded episode, I don't know, but there's so much news to cover. Of course, 2026 updates and all the other stuff that comes along with it, so I'm really excited about this one, Steve.
Me too. If you're listening or watching, buckle in. Here we go. Keith, let's start off the show like we always do. Let's get a production update from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Yeah, well, as you know, it's been interesting to watch these daily production numbers, which we get from Roger Keel and his C8 production tracker, which he posts those to Facebook. What we've really been seeing is that Z06 production has been outpacing the Stingray by quite a bit now. And in fact, over the last 3 weeks of production from April 14th, May 20th, we've actually seen 403 Stingrays produced to 646 Z06s.
Wow.
They're really ramping that number up. Another issue we've seen in the case of those missing E-rays, we've talked about Roger Keel's reports not showing any E-Rays over the last few weeks, but it looks like he found them because earlier this week, 290 were reported as produced on Tuesday. These were actually being produced over those missing weeks, but they were only reported as completed on that Tuesday, which is why they all showed up at once there. Again, it's just one of these quirks of watching these public release numbers and how they come out. What was interesting is that C8 Tracker, another website, was actually showing that they were building E-Rays during this time, but it just wasn't showing up. So people were getting a little freaked out there. But the good news is, yeah, they are building E-Rays. The current VIN counts are as follows. We have 11,371 Stingrays, 6,091 Z06s, and now 2,210 E-Rays for a total of 19,672 Corvettes for 2025. It's also important to remember, Steve, that we will still have roughly 13 weeks to go before the start of the 2026 model year.
Right.
So still plenty of time to build a lot of Corvettes. What we really want to get out of this is between the zero allocations for Stingrays over the last 3 months to now seeing that the Z06 is outproducing the Stingray, GM definitely has a plan underway to change the face of Corvette production to these higher priced wide body models. And we're seeing it play out in front of us right now.
Yeah, definitely. And we have some new numbers to add to that, Keith, because the first ZR1 customer orders started on Monday, April 28th.
That's right. So they started what we call regular production. As far as we know, we have 9 cars that have been completed now. I was talking to a dealer yesterday. He said, hey, I went into the order system. I got some interesting data on those 9 ZR1s. I said, well, let me have it,
Yeah.
So this is exclusive. I haven't shared this anywhere yet. He tells me that the first 2 ZR1s are going to Mr. Hendrick.
Okay.
They are black with blue stripes, the blue wheels, and the tension blue interior. What's cool is number 1 is a split window coupe, and then number 2 is the convertible model.
Oh.
We learned that number 3 is also a black convertible. Number 4 is rapid blue. And then numbers 5 through 9 are all black. So of the first 9 Corvette ZR1s completed, 8 of them are black.
Wow. That was my spec too, Keith.
Yeah. They showed it as a show car. And I think it just really helped unlock people's brains of, wow, this is a really cool spec. The blue wheels, the blue stripe, the interior.
Yep.
It all comes together really well in that package. So we think that's probably why people are going for that. As production comes online, we'll see more and more colors being produced. But it's interesting that those first people all wanted the black cars.
Yeah, that's really cool. At least I know my spec is a popular spec, right?
Right, there you go.
Yeah, and here's a head scratcher. May allocations was limited only to Z06s.
Yeah, so last Thursday was the start of another order cycle. It was almost exclusively Z06s, although we did hear one dealer in particular did get a bunch of E-Rays as well. What has been interesting, we've talked about this in the last 2 weeks or so. I have a dealer calls them stimmies, these little stimulus, little extra allocations granted outside the order cycle.
Okay.
So for the last couple of weeks, we've seen dealers saying, hey, I got a Z06 allocation, or I got 2 Z06s today, when it wasn't expected.
Yeah.
They've reduced the number of Stingrays. They boosted the number of Z06s being produced, and now we've got more allocations going out for Z06s.
Okay.
As we mentioned, no Stingrays have been allocated in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
We didn't get the full constraint info yet for this order cycle, but dealers have been saying that it looks like visible carbon fiber is not available, nor can it be ordered on the 2 colors going away, Rapid Blue or Seawolf Gray. It looks like those 2 colors are officially gone for 2025.
Okay. Yeah, and that was a head scratcher too, because they had Z06 orders, but they had to remove all the carbon fiber aero. It's like we can never get enough carbon fiber, can we?
No, and then when you think you've got it, then they take it away from you, which is why this news is so infuriating. And dealers should really be upset about how GM is treating some of their best customers.
Yeah.
This was in early May. GM took a bunch of orders that were placed back in February for the Z06. These are orders that were accepted with visible carbon fiber aero and were at 3,000 status. They took them, they downgraded them to 2,000 status, stripped the aero off, and then told dealers, hey, your customer either needs to select carbon flash aero or no aero at all. One of the things that we were really worried about was these customers also wouldn't be able to get their colors that they had ordered, Rapid Blue or Seawolf Gray.
Yeah.
But one of our dealers did say that he was able to resubmit an order in Rapid Blue, so at least they could still get their colors. This is crazy news, and it's our belief that when GM went hunting for that additional aero for the ZR1, they found it by limiting future orders for Z06 aero. You can't change my mind about that. I think they went and said, we're going to cannibalize the selected Z06 orders so that those first ZR1s can get aero.
Interesting. Wow. That's a head scratcher. That's for sure, buddy.
It is. And it's just, these are some of your best customers, General Motors, and you're toying with them, and it's just not right.
It ain't fair. It ain't fair at all. Also, this is real sad, Keith. I saw Bowling Green Assembly had staff reductions after assembly line changes were made.
Yeah, we've been following this project improvement since the beginning of the year. Saw the Corvette assembly plant in the first half of 2025 already closed for 3 weeks of this 4-week planned downtime. And that final closure is actually coming up on May 19th. So the rumor has been that these updates to the assembly line are being made to emphasize wide body production. And we've seen that. We just talked about those stats. But what's happening is the line is running slower. They're building less cars, and therefore they need less people. That's why we just underwent a round of staff reductions. Our friends over at Mid-Engine Corvette Forum tell us that there was 31 employees that were laid off, while another 43 senior employees with 25 years or more experience actually took an early retirement buyout with their employment ending on June 1st.
Okay.
So that's the 70-some people that are no longer needed to build these cars. During the NCM Bash, we actually had the opportunity to ask a question to the plant director, Ray, about these changes inside the plant. We know that the line rate's going to slow down a little bit more. He acknowledged the changes, but he didn't really elaborate on what that topic was in terms of how fast the rates are going, what kind of volume they're doing. We are seeing it play out in front of us. It's sad that we are losing some of these employees, although these 43 that are taking the early retirement buyouts, I hope you enjoy that time off because you definitely earned it.
Absolutely right. Also, this was kind of good news, I guess. Corvette's live tracker showed inventories fell 28% last month. So there's not as many Corvettes on the streets and on the lots.
Yeah, I think this is good news, and it's been interesting to see how they were going to tackle this because we've been following these inventory numbers since January, and in fact, in February, there was a high number. They actually had 6,126 Corvettes on the market as of February 1st or so. Now, as of May 1st, that number is just 3,244, so they've already cut it in half.
Yeah.
And the biggest reductions we are seeing is obviously coming from the Stingray because they're not allocating them. They're not building as many. So now on May 1st, we saw that the number of Stingrays on the ground was only 1,645. That is a huge reduction. Back in April, that number was 2,763. So they've really found a way to reduce the number of available Stingrays on the market while emphasizing construction of the wide bodies. The other interesting stat we found is that there are just now 451 Corvettes left over from the 2024 model year.
Oh.
So if you're still looking for that cacti or hypersonic gray or a ceramic matrix gray car, the live inventory tracker will tell you where those remaining cars are being sold at. There's still a few out there you'll get your hands on.
Go get them, people. Go get them. This was also interesting, Keith, and it's kind of disappointing. ZR1's not going to be offered in right-hand drive, so that means that some of these countries that really love these cars are not going to get them.
Yeah, and this goes to my world tour concept of the ZR1. And unfortunately, it's going to be a limited world tour. It looks like it's only going to the Middle East. I bet Mexico gets it, but so far, the Middle East is actually the only export market that's been specifically mentioned.
Okay.
We got this news about no right-hand drive actually from GM's managing director in Australia, Jess Bala, who told customers that basically they're not building it in right-hand drive, which would mean that this car would not be available for export in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and the United Kingdom. We did see that a show car was being shipped over to the Middle East, and because the Middle East has a lot of the same kind of emission standards and other things that the American market does, it's really easy to get our cars over there. So it looks like the Middle East right now is the only one that's been announced for ZR1.
Okay, interesting.
The plus side of that is less exports means more ZR1s for the United States, and I know that's a plan that most of you could probably get behind.
Absolutely right. I didn't think of that, but that's really true. And probably the biggest story, Keith, the new 2026 interior was debuted. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. I've actually come along and I get behind the wheel of my 2025 E-Ray and I'm like, okay, it's dated now.
No.
I'm telling myself that's not the case. I do love my 2025. But the 2026 updates are pretty cool. Obviously, we've got the new interior. We've got a 3-screen layout. We've got a new center console design, and then all these new graphics and everything that goes with it. There's really so much here to talk about. Obviously, we did lose the Great Wall of Buttons, but there's still a partition there. It's not as drastic of a change as I thought it would be.
Right.
Those buttons for the HVAC were all moved underneath the center console screen there. And then we got the 2 cup holders that are illuminated. You've got a new toggle switch for the driver mode selector. A charging pad for your cell phone is within reach now. It's not behind you. That's just part of these changes. We also got 4 new interiors. We got a Sky Cool and medium ash gray with habanero accents, a Santorini blue, which is really like a dark cobalt blue, very nice looking, a very dark atmosphere, which is like a dark chocolate color is how they described it. And then the ultimate suede package, which you can get, which is basically jet black suede with either the new red, blue, or competition yellow stitching and seatbelts to match that.
Nice.
4 new interiors. We got photos of all that stuff. One of the other big changes is a new, I'm going to try to say this, electrochromatic roof, which is basically a sunroof inside the Targa removable roof panel.
Right.
And with the touch of a button, you can actually change the tint level on that glass to go from low tint, medium tint, or high tint, which I guess would make it blacked out. That's kind of cool. I think that's new for Corvette. We've got a bunch of stuff happening. There's some things going on with E-Ray. They moved the Charge Plus button to the steering wheel, which is a good place to have it. We've also got the blue brake calipers are going to be available for E-Ray and Z06.
Good.
And a couple other little minor changes here and there, which we have on the website. We are expected to see 2026 Corvette start production on Monday, August 4th, and then the first order cycle is expected at the end of June. Still a lot of information we're waiting on. We're waiting on model year pricing, obviously the official order guide, and then the new 2026 configurator. All that should drop before ordering starts in June. Let's hope we get that soon.
Fingers crossed. And we do get a grab handle a la the C7 Corvette.
Yeah, like I said, there's all kinds of little things here. On that grab handle, there's also another USB charger facing the passenger. So I know passengers have always been missing out on some of this stuff. So they get their own little charging point there. And yeah, so good stuff happening. And again, I've come a long way on this interior since seeing the original spy photos. I think anybody that orders it will be very happy with it.
Definitely. I still love my interior as well on my 2023 70th anniversary car. This looks good, but I'll keep mine with no problems and no regrets. All right, buddy. That's a lot of news.
It was a lot of news. I was wondering how we were going to make it through that.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, let's take our first break, buddy. And when we come back, it's Corvette racing and Corvette rumors on deck next here on Corvette Today.
Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome is the buzz of the Corvette community. But now, Wheelcraft is proud to announce they can now do custom finishes for your OEM wheels, including the bronze wheel color option. And you still get the Wheelcraft 5-year warranty on all wheels. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchanges for C4 through C8 Corvettes, or they can apply the PVD chrome finish to your current wheels. Buying a new Corvette? Wheelcraft will work with your Chevrolet dealership to get your PVD chrome wheels there on time. You can drive away with your new wheels already installed. Doing an R8C delivery at the National Corvette Museum? Wheelcraft has partnered with the NCM Motorsports Park to do wheel exchanges once your R8C delivery is completed. You'll drive home from the NCM with your new Wheelcraft wheels. Plus, you still get free lifetime access to the Wheelcraft pit crew. So visit wheelcraft.com or call them at 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You've formerly known us as True Wealth and Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating 6 amazing years of Corvette Today. We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership, but here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At IntelliSense Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit IntelliSense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through IntelliSense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at RadiatorGrillStore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
Stretch the life of your Corvette's paint with Nova Stretch, the performance protective cover. From bugs to rock chips, Nova Stretch covers protect your Corvette, utilizing stretch fabric technology and an innovative fastening system for quick installation and easy removal and storage. Made in the USA for a tailored fit, the patented design and breathable mesh protects your Corvette without rubbing or chafing the paint like traditional covers. And unlike clear film or old-time car bras, NovaStretch provides full front-end coverage including the grille, keeping radiators and heat exchangers clean and debris-free. Visit NovaStretch.com and use the code CORVETTETODAY15 to get 15% off your order. Protect your Corvette with NovaStretch.
I'm Harlan Charles, and you're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Wow, Steve, that was a really cool bumper you got there from Harlan Charles, of all people.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And I've got another special surprise leading into the third segment coming up here in just a little bit. But thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from previous generations, too. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Every other week, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. In segment number 2, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. We got a lot of racing stuff to cover, Keith. First, we got Corvette racing at Spa, Laguna Seca, and at Circuit of the Americas, too.
Yeah, so over the weekend, we had the Corvette Z06 GT3Rs racing on 2 different continents, which is, again, the great thing about being in these multiple series.
Yeah.
In IMSA, the Corvettes were racing at Laguna Seca, which is, again, one of our favorite tracks to watch a race. And in the World Endurance Championship, TF Sport had their 2 Corvette racers in Belgium for the 6 hours of Spa. So as we are recording this before those races, we'll bring you those results in our next news and headline show. But we do have some great results to share from the GT World Challenge America at Circuit of the Americas. We had Blake McDonald and Matt Bell took first in the Pro-Am class with DXDT's number 11 Corvette Z06 GT3R, which finished third overall in the 90-minute 2-driver race. The pair also finished third in Pro-Am on Sunday at the end of the weekend's second race. What's really been crazy to watch so far in this second season of the Z06 GT3Rs is we already have won races in 4 different championships. It's been a really good year so far. We're really spreading out those wins across the world and just got to keep it going for the rest of the season.
And speaking of keeping it going, Stellar Motorsports wants a second GT3R this year, don't they?
Yeah, you know, these teams that have been normally told they get 1 year and 1 second year of their contract, but they did such a great job in their very first race. I think they finished second place, and they were running a silver team, so they wanted to get a bronze team together for the Endurance Cup in June, which I think is at Imola in Italy. The team wants that second car for bronze-rated drivers. That's pretty cool because it allows them just, again, to race in 2 different classes there in those series in Europe. Stellar also put out a comment about how great it's been working with Corvette Racing and all their support. I guess they do calls bi-weekly with all the Corvette Z06 owners.
Oh.
And they said it's very helpful because as one series owner might be seeing an issue with one of their parts, the other teams can go check theirs and it gives them a chance to maybe address something before a failure happens. All we know is these cars do appear to be a whole lot more reliable for the second season, and this might be one of the reasons why.
That's really cool. That's a great idea for them to do that. In the rumors category, Keith, we're still seeing reports about the Grand Sport. Do we see a Grand Sport possibly doing some emissions testing?
Well, it could have been. It was a recent photo we came across. It showed a C8 wide body with a Z06 high wing, but yet it also had corner-mounted exhaust. And mounted to that exhaust was this contraption for measuring emissions. It had these pipes coming out of both exhaust pipes and then going into this box. And so we believe it was measuring emissions particulates.
Okay.
While we could say that this is an export Z06 undergoing emissions testing, it could be we are looking at the long-rumored C8 Grand Sport, shown as a wide body with the Z06 wing and testing a new mystery motor.
Wow.
We just don't know what was in that engine bay as they were testing this. Seeing this emissions testing equipment would either mean a new engine is being tested and monitored, or that there were enough changes to the content of an existing car that required a new emissions test. And we actually saw that with the 2024 Stingrays after a bunch of new safety equipment was added to the car. You can go take a look at this picture on CorvetteBlogger. It's also been blasted around social media, so let us know what you think this is.
Inquiring minds want to know, that's for sure. Also, buddy, we think we saw Roswell Green making a first appearance at the Bowling Green Assembly Plant, and it was an E-Ray, too.
Yeah, it was our first real photo. It looks like it was parked out back behind the assembly plant. Unfortunately, a lot of these spy photos the photo's dark. It looks like a gray day. So the car actually looks more army green than Roswell green. However, because it's on an E-Ray, we think it's a show car, and hopefully it'll be shown around the country this summer. I was thinking maybe at one of the IMSA races, or maybe it'll make its debut at Bloomington Gold. It does look like they are painting this car, and we'll have some examples to see very soon.
That's cool. I'll be at Bloomington Gold there right outside of St. Louis in June, so that'll be fun. I'm doing a seminar on Corvette today, so that'll be cool. I'll be looking out for that car for sure. I know you love your E-Ray, and I love the high wings. Are we going to combine that and have an E-Ray high wing?
Well, during the rollout of the 2026 information, the press release didn't mention this at all, but the video shows a competition yellow Corvette E-Ray with a full-width rear wing spoiler. It looks a lot like that new standard Z51 spoiler on the Stingrays.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is the E-Ray was the only model in the first 2 years that not having an optional wing available. All we did was we got the regular rear spoiler from the Z06, and then we got the little extensions that come up on there, but that's been it for the wing availabilities on the E-Ray. It does look like we're getting a new E-Ray wing. Pretty cool there, although I'm happy with not having one. I think the GT Cruiser look is very streamlined, and I don't feel the need for a wing there, but you never know. People like them, and it does kind of look cool with one, so why not?
Why not? I love the big wings. Was that the one that we saw with the 3 posts on there?
Yeah, that's right. That was the other thing. Thank you for mentioning that, Steve. This is the first 3-post or 3-stanchion wing that we've seen from GM. Of course, the Z51 wing has 4 mounting points, while the ZR1 and the Z06 wings just have the 2 mounting points. This is a 3, one in the middle, and then one on each end.
Well, they're throwing a little bit of a curve for us, and that's all good. All right, buddy, let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the fun side of Corvette on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is a proud sponsor of Corvette Today. Are you already an NCRS member? If not, you should consider joining, and here's why. The NCRS means community. We're a community of individuals who love the Corvette hobby and enjoy the fellowship that NCRS provides. We have NCRS chapters throughout the U.S. and Canada where members can meet monthly and share in the enjoyment of the Corvette with like-minded people. NCRS means excellence. NCRS trains some of the best and most educated judges and informed owners in the car collector world. NCRS means inclusion. Owners of both classic and new Corvettes are welcome. We offer flight and concourse judging for 53 through 07 model years and sportsman awards for Corvettes ranging from 53 through 2025. NCRS means leadership. With over 10,000 members, NCRS researches, writes, publishes, and distributes tech manuals and judging guides for the 53 through 07 Corvettes. No other Corvette organization does this, and they're available for purchase. Members also receive the bi-monthly and award-winning Restore magazine and Driveline magazine throughout the year. We also host an extensive technical discussion board at ncrs.org. Finally, NCRS means value. Many of our prestigious awards can and often do increase the value of the cars that achieve our awards. Whether you own a 53 Corvette or the latest 25 model, the NCRS has a place for you. Check us out at ncrs.org.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking 2 things. 1, these cars are incredible. And 2, man, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast. It's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I make wealth management as smooth as your car on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how to get this retirement account to pay for your Corvette vision, I got you covered. Search for the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road, financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
Hi, this is Kirk Benyon, and you're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Hey, that's really cool, Steve. You've got both Harlan and Kirk to do new promos for Corvette Today. That's really awesome.
Thanks, buddy. I thought that was really cool. And thanks to Harlan, Charles, and Kirk Benyon for doing our bumpers, the new ones here on Corvette Today. And thank you for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and also popular wheel designs from previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Just remember, if you want a deeper dive into any of the stories we cover, and there's a lot today, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always cover the fun side of Corvette. Vengeance Graphics, Keith, is offering a C9 concept car that I thought was awesome because it looked just like an SR-71 Blackbird, and that's an aircraft that I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Already that C9 EV concept that was put out by GM's Advanced Design Studio in the UK already looks like a spaceship anyways. So why not turn it into the SR-71 Blackbird spy plane from the Cold War? It's a really cool look. Of course, any kind of black car is just really sinister looking anyways. This is a rendering of a concept, so it'll probably never, ever see the light of day. But boy, people really embraced it and got behind it, according to the comments on the website. Check it out and let us know what you think about that.
I thought it was awesome. I'll drive it around, that's for sure. Also, this is great news. The new ZR1 is now the pace car for the upcoming Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, we've known this news since last Thanksgiving, but the official livery for the Indy 500 pace car was just revealed on the ZR1 at the end of April. Obviously, it features that Arctic white exterior with emerald green and gold graphics and a modified racing stripe that really plays well in that ZR1's front hood design, where it's got that waterfall that goes down into that cooling radiator.
Cool.
Unlike previous pace cars, this 1,064 horsepower Corvette ZR1 should have no problem in setting the pace for the 109th running of the greatest spectacle in racing. And of course, Michael Strahan, NFL Hall of Famer, is going to be your celebrity driver for the race. Some good stuff happening there. Of course, May is racing month up in Indianapolis and in the state of Indiana. So excited to see what's coming at us here.
Yeah, the ZR1's going to look good on the Indianapolis 500, that's for sure. Also at the Bash, Keith, the Corvette Hall of Fame inductees were announced, and we have 3 brand new inductees.
Yeah, this is for these people that are going to be inducted during the upcoming 31st anniversary celebration at the NCM on Friday, August 29th. They are chosen from 3 categories. The class of 2025 includes SCCA Corvette racer Kim Baker, who is in the racing category. General Motors Vice President of Design Chuck Jordan is in the GM and Chevrolet category. And then our really good friends, Corvette Racing Ambassadors Charlie and Jim Robertson, are inducted into the enthusiast category. And speaking of the Corvette Hall of Fame, there's actually a new display for the Hall of Fame inside the National Corvette Museum. It's actually located where that Corvette Cave-In exhibit had been.
Right.
What they did was they opened up that hallway. They've got the portraits on each side now, so you no longer have to strain your neck looking up in the Sky Dome. Those portraits are still up in the Sky Dome, but now they've got this nice hallway. It's a hallway for the Hall of Fame, which I thought is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's going to be some screens there. I'm hoping that they're going to be interactive, where you could say, show me the induction video for this person, or show me this video for this person. I think that'd be a really cool thing there. And then the last thing that's going to happen here is they've got that 74 Corvette that was Zora's. It had always been displayed over on his section where his remains are located. It's undergoing preservation work, and when it's done, it's going to be the featured car in the Corvette Hall of Fame area there. Couldn't think of a better car to put there. Of course, it's Zora's. He was one of the first inducted to the Hall of Fame. Really kind of sets the tone for everything there. So really cool look. Check it out next time you're in the NCM.
Yeah, it really looked good. That hallway there with everybody on there, that looked really, really cool. Also, some other news. Corvette and the Cadillac Lyric are unfortunately going to see some price increases in Australia.
Yeah, and not by a little bit. These prices are going up by $5,000. Now, this is just for the Stingray. When it comes to the other Corvettes, you know, the E-Ray, the Z06 aren't going up. A GM Australia person says the increases are due to the foreign exchange rates and then other cost increases, which is just a nice way of saying tariffs.
Yes, that's definitely true. Also, Keith, our final story, Brink of Speed had a great video, and Mike Brink has been on Corvette Today actually pretty recently, but it showed some cars that we think are maybe the Zora.
Yeah, we had the ZR1 and then what looked like some Zora prototypes, which looked like the ZR1, but had that hybrid cooling radiator on that front corner there. A friend of Mike's captured these cars inside a Colorado garage up in the mountains, so they're obviously doing some high altitude testing out there. But what's really interesting about this group is there's no camo in the cars, but it's somewhat of a mixed group of prototypes. Some are wearing mismatched wheels, Z06 wheels on the front or ZR1 wheels on the back. Of course, you can't put Z06 wheels on the back of a ZR1 because they're a little bit different there. There's a mystery car with a different colored front and rear fascias, a center quad exhaust, and then an E-Ray style heat exchanger on the car. So there's a little bit more going to this group than meets the eye, but it's interesting. Now, Mike thinks that one Frankenstein car with a different colored fascias might be a Grand Sport, but there's also a hybrid heat exchanger on that car. I think that kind of rules it out. I don't think the Grand Sport's going to be any kind of car that's boosted or supercharged or will have a hybrid drivetrain at all. So I think that kind of rules that out. But really cool, again, to see these cars being out there tested, get some good looks at them. So make sure you check out that video.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. We had so much news today. Thanks for making it all the way through. You did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's a lot of fun. It's a love that both you and I have. We love the Corvettes and love the people associated with it. So it's always great to spend this time with you every 2 weeks. We'll do it again in another 2 weeks.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. COTA Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Mark Falter with the Retirement Income Hour podcast. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.